If you're a speaker, trainer, coach, or consultant, and you don't quite know how to craft the right message to attract the right audience to you, this is just for you. Today I'm going to help you find clarity in what you do, how to articulate it in a way that is simple and concise, how to put it so that people understand what you are selling and what you're doing, how to communicate in a relatable manner so it's attractive to your high-paying audience so that they come to you and you don't have to chase them. Alright, so one of the frameworks we're going to cover today on how exactly you're going to sell. It sounds very different than everything else in the marketplace. So exactly what you're going to see here. Now let's take a look at the old way of selling. The old way of selling, when you take on old sales books and you attend to some of these old ways of selling, they usually tell you what? Your level of experience, you got to let people know. It's very important. You got to let people know about the awards that you have won. Because that's really important. People really care about how many MDRTs you've won, how many years of experience you've had. You need to tell people the backstory of how this is built. Your company is built on this kind of thing and this kind of thing, because it really adds credibility. And the other thing they tell you is you really need to guide people to understand all the features and benefits. Now, if you're watching this, I promise you have probably heard some of these things before. If you've used them before, you will realize they work, but not very consistently, and less are they effective. Let me show you the new way of selling, which is way more effective. This new way I discovered out of 13 to 14 years of selling on the streets, live, in person, over the phone, on stages, on webinars, many places. I have discovered this is a method that works exceptionally well. The first thing. Now, why do all of these methods work less effectively? Let me tell you why. Because every time a prospect shows up to an appointment, to a webinar, let's real think for just a moment. Do they really care about the level of your experience? Well, they kind of do, but only so that they have trust and faith that you can solve their problem. Do they really care about the awards that you have won? Some of them don't know what the awards are. Just sounds cool so that they have trust and faith that you can solve their problem. Do they really care about the backstory of your company or how you started? To the degree that it just shows that you know what you're doing so that you can solve the problem. Do they really care about the features and benefits, all the features and benefits of your product and service? Only the ones that can solve the problem. Now, overwhelmingly, it comes back to this. The prospect only cares about their problem, especially how to solve it. So the quicker we get to that element, the more effective it will be. Now, the more we do not talk about that element, the more we talk about everything else, the less interested they will be. So now that we understand this, our prospect only cares about their problem and how to solve it, that's exactly how we should start. A, we let people know that we only serve a specific prospect that has a specific problem and desires to solve it. That is exactly what we do, right? So I only work with, for example, marketers that desire to stand out in a sea of competition and really want to attract high-paying clients. That's it. So very clearly, you have a chance to qualify yourself if you fit in that category, or you have a chance to disqualify yourself and you say, well, that's not me. The moment a person hears very clearly you only work with this particular person who has this particular problem and a desire to solve it, they can either say, yes, I am that person, I want to hear the rest of this. Or no, I'm not that person, I will leave. That is fantastic. You get straight to the point. That is what this method is all about. It's about getting straight to the point. So first of all, you call out the exact prospect who have a problem and have a desire to solve. And then the next thing is you do what I call transportational closing. That is really critical. Now, every time you book a Grab, you realize there are 2 points you need to put in. The first one is your present location. The next one is your final destination. Without this, Grab doesn't allow you to book a cab. Now, sales is exactly the same thing. Sales is not about telling people how many years of experience you have or what the features and benefits. Sales really is about solving people's problems. That's exactly why they're there. So let's take a look at the first one. You need the person to identify and acknowledge where their present location is, their current problem and their pain. So let's write that down. The current problem and their pain. Then they need to tell you specifically one more thing too, that they are dissatisfied with their current situation and desire to solve it. You cannot sell somebody who has a problem and pain but doesn't have a real desire to solve it. So it's very important. You need them to acknowledge and say, hey, I do not like my current situation. I want to solve it. Now, when that happens, ta-da, you have a sale. The start of the sale, at least. Then you need them to paint the promised land, which is the end destination, where they want to be, where they will be happy. And then you spend the rest of the sale showing them exactly how they can go from A all the way to B in a fail-safe, risk-free fashion. If you do that, that'll be fantastic. Now, the final thing you need to add to the sale process, C, is you will need social proof. And also the proof specifically, you will need people achieving what I call the meta outcome.
So let me explain a bit, just in case you don't quite get what a meta outcome means. So every time you tell people that you can get them from point A to point B and blah, 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 they will listen to you, but whether they believe you is a different thing. They only believe if they see proof. Now, this proof element is highly critical. You want to put it right behind the fact that you tell people you can get them to certification. And the proof needs to be of people very similar to the prospect achieving and overcoming a problem similar to the one they have and achieving the outcome that they desire. Now, the more they can achieve what I call the meta outcome, the better. So watch. Everybody has a reason why they're sitting in front of you. For example, they want to make more money. But then there is a real reason, which is maybe they want financial freedom so that they can spend more time with their family. Maybe they want the money so that they can quit their job and help their parents retire. That is the real reason. So if you have a prospect similar, or you have a bunch of case studies similar to the prospect in front of you, who have overcome a problem and reached a place of solution, and then are enjoying the dream meta life, maybe retirement, freedom, more time with family, that this person wants, they are yours. They will buy. That's exactly what we need to do. If you realize this is far more effective than this is being very interesting, which means we tell them a whole bunch of cool stuff, many of which they do not care. This is being very on point, where we make our prospect the center of our universe. If you do that, usually you end up with a sale. They believe you and they spend their money, invest their money on you very quickly.
Also, when you attend, I'll give you a free complimentary copy of my book, $1 Million Business Breakdowns. These contain the exact blueprints my team and I have used to make ourselves and our clients millions of dollars over the last 7 years. It contains every single step that we did, how we took ourselves from 0 to 7 figures in a very short time. So without any further ado, please click the button somewhere in this video. See you at the live webinar.